Just want to do a quick update of the weather here for those interested. It's kind of interesting. The weather can sometimes be different than what you're expecting. You know, you always expect like, okay, if you go north, it's going to always be warmer, but um, that's not always the case because if you look down here in St. Louis, minus 15. Okay, I'll have to go take a look at that. It really is. At least it's someplace near St. Louis, it's minus 15, which is extremely cold for this part of the country, which where I am right now. And okay, so it looks like there's kind of like a warm front that goes across here and maybe kind of goes into here. And so I was looking up here, and then Duluth, okay, minus 2. Well, that's right by the lake, so you'd expect that. Minus 6. But even away from the lake, minus 8. Okay, so let's just say, okay, about minus 8 once you get away from the lake. And then if I go down here, down to St. Louis, um, and more specifically, I'm actually in near Wentzville, Missouri, and that's something I always notice about St. Louis. It's like they kind of say St. Louis even if you're not really actually in the city of St. Louis, just if you're in the St. Louis area, and it seems like it probably goes at least as far as Wentzville. I mean, I don't know how far you have to really go before people stop saying St. Louis, but at least it seems like it at least goes as far as Wentzville, which um, would have been considered really far out, in the country, maybe like 10 or 15 years ago, but. But I noticed, like in Chicago, when I went there, that wasn't the case. I think we were in Batavia, Illinois, which is that's okay. We were visiting that Fermi lab, which I think is actually maybe pretty much closed down now. And and I remember some people they talked about, oh yeah, there was some tour bus there. Oh, so you got to go back to Chicago. But yeah, in St. Louis, it's always like they usually refer to it as St. Louis. Pretty much if you're in St. Louis County, Jefferson County, St. Louis County for sure, or St. Louis City. But what they make the distinction of is they talk about the city and the county. And in St. Louis, there's actually really a difference between those because difference is more important because in most cities around the country, the city is actually still in the county. So you have like I think like isn't like Chicago, it's in Cook County, and um, anyway, so you have that, and then but then St. Louis, the city is actually independent from the county, which is unusual. There's maybe only a couple places in the country that do that, and which has actually been part of the problem with the city is because the city, like what happened is like as the population moved out to the counties, then basically it left decrease the tax base went down. Where in a lot of other places like Kansas City, what happened is there was growth into the suburbs, and then but then what they did is the city started annexing those parts, and then so it's still they were still within the city of Kansas City. But okay, anyway, I was here talking about weather, not that. But let's see, just another tangent brought to you from Hidden Highways. Let's see. Okay, so you can see like yeah, it's like in some of these areas like minus 4, minus 9. It's kind of varying a lot here. It makes you think that maybe some of these gauges might be kind of a little screwed up. But then minus 14. Now I can't. Some of these differences in temperature I can't really account to. But the one pattern I see is that yeah, it seems like it's quite a bit warmer in the city here. Um, so this will be St. Louis City here. Um, basically anything from about here to the river is a city, and then that's the border there. And then, so the city is in general much more densely populated, or maybe it's not even necessarily densely populated, but at least it has like maybe a lot of buildings. A lot of them are like um, empty, but a lot of like these old nice brick buildings that are all like either kind of like burned out shells or you know I mean, yeah, it's sad, but that's how it is. But anyway, but okay, but a lot of the areas are very populated, like South City and stuff like that. There's still a lot of people there, it's densely populated, and there's a lot of brick buildings. And the thing about brick buildings is they absorb a lot of heat, and so which maybe you notice like if it was like a hot day on the evening, if you're walking around that in a park, and then all of a sudden you walk on like some pavement, you might notice all of a sudden that it gets a lot hotter. Well, that's because stuff like brick and pavement and stuff like that. They absorb a lot of heat and then they store it so if the temperature drops. Now, if the temperature, like let's say, stays at that same temperature for a couple of days, then it's not going to really have any effect. But if it's like warmer like the day before, then all of a sudden the temperature really drops, and so that's a explanation I can see because there's some places here where it's 0 or even like even above 0, which is still very cold, but okay, okay, this is like, yeah, okay. Does kind of seem like maybe it is a little warmer along the river too. That's kind of, I don't know. I didn't think the river really would have much effect on it because maybe, the river isn't really that big, compared to like, it's certainly not, it's not, certainly not as big as like anywhere close to like Lake Superior, and it's really not, big compared to something like the ocean. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if but maybe if you're real within a mile of it and it gets really cold, maybe it can actually. Yeah, because the more the temperature drops, the bigger the temperature drop differences between the water and the outside the air temperature, the more likely there is going to be that the river can affect that. So anyway, all right. So that was just a quick note. I just thought that was kind of interesting, and it kind of ties into the that other video I did talking about weather underground. And yeah, I like looking at this. It's just because this is so much more detailed than the ones you get on weather.com. I mean, because you can just zoom down and see, like I said, like even the different parts of the city, So, and just as a note, so you can see that there's almost no part of the country that's warm now, except for like pretty much this really small pocket here, like in even Arizona looks like it's pretty cold. But I think it might be warm. Okay, but it's still a lot warmer than this negative stuff. So I mean, so if people are going to the RTR, but I think the temperatures are probably going to go up by the time the RTR happens. Which I mean, it doesn't look like I'm going to be going to that. I thought about it, it'd be neat to go, but I think I got to go back to Duluth and have some business to take care of, unfortunately. So because but yeah, but this is about the only warm part of the country, and then Florida. Oh yeah, Florida's even cold until you get to like Miami and stuff like that. I mean, that's how it was. Like the one time I went to Florida, that was like a while back. That's how it was. It was actually kind of like that, where it was like you had to like almost, go to the Keys before you started getting into like warmer weather. So it's like, I mean, even yeah, so some of these areas like, oh here you go, you got the 60s in Cuba. That's probably pretty cold for them. So, you know, anyway, all right, talk to you later.